Hi everybody, I'm Ann with Kai Dragon Gardening and Cooking Channel. Today I want to talk to you about things that you should be planting in June. Can you believe it? It is June already, and this year is going by fast. But there's a lot of things that you can still be planting, and this is the time of year where you want to focus on your heat-loving plants and get them in the ground. We like to start most of our stuff from seeds, and it saves the cost tremendously because the price of plants is really going up in the greenhouses and all over, unless you can catch a sale somewhere and get a pretty good size established plant. So some of the things that I'm going to talk about today that you can direct sow, which means getting the seeds right into the ground, are various seed packets that I have here. And we're going to talk a little bit about the do's and don'ts with some of this. Dill comes in different types. Mammoth dill is a really big one. It's a trap crop, and you want to succession plant dill, because once the temperature gets really hot, it's going to bolt on you and go to seed. And you can save the seeds, throw them back in the ground, and keep on going. But it also does help some of your beneficial insects and also get rid of some of the pest insects too. So it's always high on my priority list to keep dill going. Beans are another really good one to start the 1st of June. You can do pole beans, you can do bush beans. We do both. I like to do a lot with the stacking planters now that we've got them. So they have the deep pockets, the ones that I have, and so you can do a lot of root crops in those. So you can start some of your root crops now, and it's going to take them a while to germinate anyway and get established. So if you're going to do a stacking planter, I would go ahead and start some of those. But your beans come in different varieties, and I have just got some different seed packets here, but we buy from all over. So, you know, think about beans, and if you're going to do the pole beans, get you some poles or trellises, make your own. You may teepees out of poles, putting 3 of them together in a rubber band. Anything like that works. Some of your herbs that you want to get started right now is going to be your basils, and they come in different types of flavors. There's cinnamon, there's Thai basil, there's which is the same as holy basil. There's your anise basil, or some people call it anise hyssop, and I'm probably pronouncing that and butchering it all up. But there's so many different kinds. We use a bunch of different ones for cooking and also for making teas. Chives is another really good one, and all parts of the chive plant are edible, so you can use the flowers in salad. You can chop up the green stalks, and the good thing about chives, when you get them going, you can break apart the little plant and start new plants real easy with chives. Cucumbers are great heat-loving plants. Once again, you got the kind that are just going to climb right up a string line or a pole. There's also bush beans that are a more bushy type, and they don't get as tall, and they form into a neat little bush, and you can tomato cages work really well for those too, especially when you're doing the bush cucumbers. But there's another one that is really good to start in the month of June, and a good companion plant to keep the nasty pests away are radishes. So you can put a few radishes in with your cucumber plants. Squash is another one that comes in so many different varieties, and this is the time of year you want to get those in the ground. Make sure you're planting French marigolds close to the plants. It's going to help detour those nasty vine borers because they are a nuisance and they will kill your plants. Another thing that we like to do, and we're going to experiment more with this year, is once the plant starts growing and the seedlings getting, probably 3 or 4 leaves on it, start spraying it with that kaolin clay. It's going to detour those vine borers because then they can't get in there and destroy the plant by laying their eggs and ruining it for you. Your purple sprouting broccoli is another one that's good to start right now. You're not going to be able to harvest it or anything until late in the year, or maybe not even early next year, but you can get it started now. And it's another one that does really good when you're doing companion planting. So once again, I'm stressing the marigolds. Marigolds are another thing that are really good to get started this time of year. Got a few different ones here just to show you some different. They come in key lime. There's golden Goliath. Those get pretty good size. The French marigolds, they're the ones I really recommend because they're really pungent. And there's also petite variety, which are going to be the real small flowers. And speaking of flowers, here's some more different flowers that you can get started in June. Your black-eyed Susans. It's fine to get them started direct, sow them in the ground, but you want to do it right away because it's going to take a while for them to get started. Same way with your calendula. If you like doing flower arrangements and stuff, you want to get those started as quick as you can. Zinnias, perfect flower to get started in June. Just get those seeds sprinkled out there and direct sow. Carnations is another good one to get started this time of year. Cosmos. I love cosmos. They are like a big butterfly magnet, and they do grow anywhere from small to pretty tall and kind of branch out there and do their own thing. But now they have come out with so many different varieties. There's a Cosmic Beauty that's got the red, white, and pink in it, and it's just really pretty. There's a Crazy Mix that you can get that has all kinds of different colors. And also your beautiful lime colored zinnias. So fields of zinnias are always so pretty when you drive by, and people decorate in so many different ways using zinnias. I've seen them using old wagons and old wheelbarrows and stuff like that, and filling it with dirt and a lot of zinnia seeds. Looks beautiful in the yard, especially if you're doing like a western touch with the wagon wheel and stuff. Coreopsis is another great one to get started. And even your snapdragons, you can direct sow those. Here's another petite marigold to show you, that they've got the different color flowers even into the deep red orange, which is really, really pretty. Makes a beautiful mix. And remember, it's so easy to save the seeds once the flowers have been spent, and then you can pack them up and have them next year. It's also not too late, since the beginning of June, to still do some of the wildflower mixes. You want to make sure you read the packets and see which ones you're getting. Some of them actually need cold stratification depending on what flowers are in them, so make sure you read before you just direct sow. But a lot of your wildflower mixes to bring in the butterflies and pollinators and stuff are good to do this time of year. Sunflowers, they come in a big variety, anywhere from the chocolate sunflower now to the deep reds, the teddy bear blue. They've even got pink sunflowers now. There's been so many different hybrids of sunflowers, and of course, you know, this is your Paradovic sunflowers, which is your great big sunflowers, and they make your food for your pollinators and your birds and bees, and so you want to keep that in mind. They're definitely a type to get going. Not too late to go ahead and get some Tithonia seeds in the ground. You may not see nothing until the next year, but direct sow them. And of course your Mexican sunflower too. I also have some other things that you should be direct sowing in June if you haven't already thought of it. Your beets and your okra, it's good time to get those going. Your summer savory and kale, those are two other great plants that you can get going. Some of your lettuces, they do make long-standing, and they do make a slow bolt lettuce now. Some of your lettuces you can still do in June before it gets super hot, and still be able to get a crop out of that. And remember, when you're doing lettuces, you always want to harvest from the outer leaves so you can get more out of your plant. And we have done a video of getting more out of your harvest with your lettuce that you can find on our page. Also, if you like bulb plants, most of your lily bulb plants can still be planted about the first week in June, and your gladiolas and dahlias, and also your elephant ears. Those are also some real popular bulb plants, because a lot of your bulb plants have to be planted early spring. There's cutoff dates on them, and they put those on there for a reason, because a lot of times the rhizomes will develop, and then if they cannot flower because they've been planted too early or too late, what happens is then they grow and they rot, and you lose out and you don't get anything. So make sure that you're reading on your bulb plants to know which ones you need to plant in the spring and in the late fall, and what the cutoff windows are, because a lot of times it's, you know, that March, April, May for your spring, and then usually October through November is your fall area for your bulb plants. And you know, and remember, then a lot of them are going to reproduce, and they will make more in the soil, and so the next year you should get more and more after that, depending on how they grow and if you allow them to stay, you know, before you cut them. A lot of people don't cut back like their irises and stuff until the 1st of July. So you want to do a little bit of research when you're planting bulb plants. And your Cana lilies, that's another one you can plant from seeds or bulbs. And those are another ones that you can still get in the ground. And you can also check with some of your resources, like your nurseries and stuff, for plants that are starter plants, and get them in the ground. Your Hoskas, Astilbe, coral bulbs, those are all still plants that you can do in June. Sage and oregano, 2 more herbs that you might want to get started. But there's a lot of different things that you can still get growing in the month of June. And remember, I really like to do the natural pest control in the garden. Don't use those pesticides, insecticides, or whatever, unless you absolutely have to, because what you're doing is you're you are killing off the population of the pollinators. And so try to avoid using that stuff. Don't use it around any of your other areas, because it's taking away, and every year we're losing more and more of our pollinators because of all the chemicals that people are using. So if you can do more gardening that's chemical free, it creates a winner for all of us. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you get something out of it, and we'll be showing you some of the plants that we've already started a little bit earlier and got them going. So remember, June's not too late. Work on your heat loving stuff and have a fantastic summer.